you for being flexible yesterday. I don't know why Miss Johnson could not. My projector was being weird. I had to do some things this morning to fix it. So thank you for being flexible. Sorry that I missed a couple days, but I'm here now. Okay. Right pass. Okay. So yesterday you talked about solving equations where maybe we had to do something like distribute or combine like terms first. Okay. We're still going to have problems like that, but this time our added bonus, and it's the last added bonus, is that there could be variables on both sides of the equal sign. Okay. So the steps for solving these are almost the same. We're going to just add one more little tidbit. So first thing I need you to look for, is there anything that you need to distribute? Or are there any like terms that you need to combine? Okay. What is kind of our tip for, I need to distribute. What do we need to look for? Parentheses. If there's parentheses, we know that maybe we have to distribute. Okay. If you have more than two terms, it may be a possibility that we have like terms we need to combine. Okay. Okay. Then, because we might have variables on both sides, we need to choose a side to move our variable to. Okay, so you're going to use, it says inverse operations. You're basically going to add or subtract your variable, okay, to either the left or the right side. I'll tell you right now, I'm going to typically move to the left side unless it's way easier to go to the right side. So I'm going to say 90% of the time, let's just go to the left side, okay? Once we do those two things, it basically becomes a two-step equation, okay? So undo the addition subtraction, undo the multiplication division. Then you're going to have an answer. Check your answer, okay? So it's not going to be a whole lot different. We just need to make sure we get our variables to one side or the other, okay? So I want you to, I'm going to zoom in here on number 1. Okay, so what do you notice about number 1? Okay, so first of all, is there anything that we need to distribute? No, we do not need to distribute anything because there's no parentheses. Okay, do we have any like terms to combine? And when I ask you that, I want you to look at the two sides of the fence separately. Left side of the fence, is there anything we can combine? No. Right side of the fence, is there anything we can combine? No. So this problem, we don't have to do that first step of simplifying. Okay? What we do need to do is we do need to move the variable. Okay? So there is a 2x here and an 8x here. And basically we need to decide which one to move to the other side. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick 2x. I want to move 2x to be on the left side of the fence. Anytime we move across the fence, we have to do those inverse operations. So how are we going to undo 2x to move it over? You have two options. We're going to add or subtract it. Okay. If I add 2x, is 2x plus 2x going to cancel out? 2x plus 2x is not going to cancel out. Okay. So we are going to subtract 2x from both sides. Okay. so that 2x minus 2x cancels, okay? Do you notice how I put my minus 2x right underneath my 8x, okay? Be organized with your work so that when you look at it, ooh, I know I need to take 8 minus 2 because those are the coefficients of my variables. 6x plus 17 equals what's on the right side? 35. Okay, now we're to a point. This looks like something that I would have given you on your quiz last week, right? Now this is just a two-step equation. What do we need to move first? The 17. How are we going to move the 17? We're going to subtract 17. We're going to undo our addition by subtracting 17 from both sides. Okay. So those undo each other. We have 6x equals, I don't want to do that. What is it? 18? Sorry, my okay. Then what are we going to do to each side? Okay, we need to undo our multiplication by dividing by 6 so that x equals 3. Is that right? All right, Kaylee, hold up your pen. Maybe. Kaylee, I'll get it stopped as soon as it loads. Okay, now, here's the thing. I need to see your work. What I was noticing in my previous class is I had a lot of students trying to do work in their head, and then they were losing track of some things on one side or the other, okay? I need to see your step of subtracting or adding the variables to be together. I need to see your step of subtracting or adding the constant, dividing or multiplying by that coefficient, okay? Make sure you are showing your work, and it's helping a lot of people to draw that fence so you can see, do I need to move something across the fence, or do I have something on the same side of the fence to combine? Okay, and we'll look at a couple of those problems here soon. Okay, so let's look at number 2. Okay, again, in number 2, do we have anything to distribute? No. Do we have any like terms to combine on the left side or the right side? No. Okay, so those 2 steps are done. What I do notice, however, is that I have k's on both sides. We don't want that. We want our k's to be on the right side or the left side, okay? It doesn't matter, but if it's the same amount of work either way, I'm going to choose the left side, okay? So let's move our variable. If I want 2k to be over on the left, how would we move it over? Okay, so I heard 2 different things. So let me ask you this. Is 2k plus 2k going to undo each other? No, that's going to be 4k. That's not what we want. So we're going to say minus 2k so that those cancel out. Okay, and now we have, okay, do you notice how I put the minus 2k with the 7k? I didn't write it right here. I wrote it right here so that my brain can process those together. 7k minus 2k would mean what? So we have 5k We still have our plus 8. Okay. On the right side, our k's are gone. But what do we have on the right side? Okay, be careful because that minus is still there. So we have a negative 37. I see that mistake a lot where we're dropping our minus or our negatives. Okay, from here, we can breathe a little bit. Okay, this is familiar to us. Okay, let's undo. What number do we need to move? We need to move the 8. We need to undo our addition by subtracting 8 to both sides. Oh. So we have 5k equals. Landon says negative 45. Ellie's double checking him. Is he right? Okay. Here's something else I'm noticing. Some of us are taking negative 37 minus 8, and we're not getting negative 45. Don't be afraid to use your calculator. Okay? It's okay to use your calculator. Now, what's our last step? Okay, we need to undo our multiplication by dividing by 5. And when we divide both sides by 5, we get k equals negative 9. Make sure we get that negative in there. Okay. All right, what I'd like you to do, I want you to just try number 3. See how it goes. Okay, check in with your elbow partner. When you get an answer, see if they get the same thing. See what you can do. What was your first step? I can't tell. You took this m and moved it over here? Okay, so we would have to subtract m from both sides if that's what you wanted to do. Okay, so if you minus m, okay, so I'm going to do this problem 2 different ways. Okay, I'm going to give you about another minute to finish up. Do you have a question?
Yeah, so since it's
Mm-hmm.
9m
Mm-hmm.
is it subtracting
Right, so which one do you want to go to the left side or the right side?
the left side?
Okay, so if you want to move this guy over here, we're going to have to subtract 9m to both sides. since we're moving across the fence, we have to do inverse operations.
So crosses over.
Mm-hmm. So 1m minus 9m would give us what? So like negative 8m. So negative 8m, and we still have this plus 3 equals the minus 13. Mm-hmm. Negative 13. Yep. So now you need to keep going on that one. Okay. Okay. Raise your hand if your first step was to subtract 9m to both sides. Okay. So if you want to take this 9m and undo it to put it on the left side, we can minus 9m to both sides as our first step. Okay, what is m minus 9m? Okay, this is like 1m minus 9m. We have negative 8m plus 3 equals, that's gone, negative 13. We would then have to subtract 3 from both sides so that negative 8m equals negative 16. And our last step would be to divide by negative 8 to get m equals 2. Okay. Now, raise your hand if you took m and you moved it over to the right side. Okay. So some of you are like, you know what? I don't want a negative m. I want to take this m and I want to move it over to the right. So to do that, you can subtract m to both sides. That's fine. So in this case, these cancel out, and we have 3 equals 8m minus 13. So then in this case, we would add the 13 to both sides. So that, interesting, 16 equals 8m. And when we divide by 8, we are still getting m equals 2. Okay, so notice how we get the same answer either way. Okay, so it's okay to choose the right side versus the left side. But sometimes it's going to be easier to do one over the other. All right, now I want you to turn the page and I want you to look at number 9. Okay, now, okay, we've talked about how it's different when we have variables on both sides. So let's combine our skills with yesterday with what we just talked about today. And hopefully Matthew won't fall asleep. You're struggling, buddy. I feel you. Okay, so our very first thing to look out for is the distribution property. Do we need to distribute here? No, there's no parentheses. Okay, so combine like terms. Is that something we need to worry about? Yes. When I look over here, when I look over here, I notice that there are 3 different terms. We don't like that. We only want 2. Okay, so I have 2 variable terms and 1 constant term. So we need to combine those variable terms together. What is negative 5x plus 3x?
Negative 2x.
It is negative 2x. So we have negative 2x minus 16 equals negative 23 minus 9x. Why is that? Why am I a liar? Okay. Okay, so now I've combined like terms. Okay, do we have variables on both sides? Nah. So we're going to have to move our variable. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and make the decision that I have this minus 9x right here. I want it to go to the left side. So if I'm going to move across the fence, we need to do inverse operations. How do I move minus 9x? Huh? Sammy? We would have to add it. Since it's a minus 9x, to undo it, we would have to add it. Okay. So those cancel out. How many x's do we now have on the left? Okay, so how about this? Negative 2x plus 9x. 7x minus 16 equals, what's on the right side? Negative 23. Okay, we have now got ourselves to a two-step problem. Okay, we need to undo our subtraction. So we're going to add 16 to both sides. Can you help me out? What's negative 23 plus 16? I heard two different answers. Only one of them's right. Negative 7. Please don't forget that that's a negative 7. So our last step is to undo that multiplication by dividing both sides by 7. So our answer becomes x equals negative 1. Huh? To bed? No. Okay, one more problem and then I'll get you to your assignment, okay? I want you to go to number 14. 14's the last one. What's going on? I am out of note cards. All right. What's the first step we need to do? Thank you, Carly. We need to distribute. Okay? If we distribute, we get negative 6n. What happens when we take negative 6 times minus 3? It is a plus 18, okay? If we take negative 6 times essentially this negative 3, this becomes a positive 18, okay? Over here, 5 times 4 gives us 20, and then 5 times minus n would give us minus 5n, okay? Do we have any like terms that we need to combine on the right side or the left side?
No.
Okay, we don't. Over here, we have two terms. One's a variable, one's a constant. Same thing on the left side. So there's nothing we need to combine together. Okay, boom, we're done with that. All right, so now we need to decide where we want the n's to live.
At the end street.
Okay. I'm going to pick them to live on the left. Is that okay? So if I want them to be on the left side, that means I need to move the one over here on the right. And I would do that using what operation? Plus. We need to add 5n to both sides. No?
No, I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. Negative 6n plus 5n. Negative what? Negative 1n. Okay. Then what do we do?
Minus 18.
Okay. Let's undo our addition by subtracting 18. So we have negative 1n equals 2. Are we done? Heck no. We need to undo our multiplication by dividing by negative 1. So n is going to equal a negative 2. Here's the deal. Your assignment is 1 through 9 on page 33. I will give you the option. You can do all of them. Some of you want to do all of them. If you feel that 9 is too many and you want to cut it in a little bit more than half, you can do the odd problems from 1 through 9. Does that sound fair? No matter what, I want you to be starting on these 5 or 9 problems right now.